It's the New York Times news, baby! This was announced on the Emily Austin show, who Emily Austin is a hot blonde Jew, is what I would describe her as. And this was a hit from her show.
I'm officially starting Hot Girls for Cuomo. So if you are a hot girl for Andrew Cuomo, I want to hear from you. But in fact, let's hear from Andrew himself. Enough of me.
And then it's just him, like, diddling a woman. No.
Did he touch it?
I mean, here's the thing. How totally stupid is this? You can't do Hot Girls for Cuomo. You can't do Hot Girls for Jeffrey Epstein. You can't do Hot Girls for Harvey Weinstein. You can't add a Hot Girls attachment and to someone who had to leave public office because of hot girls.
Yeah. What about big girls for Andrew Cuomo?
Yeah.
What about them?
No, I don't think he was into that.
What about inclusion?
Yeah. What about solid sevens for Cuomo? Single moms in Staten Island for Cuomo.
What was very funny, did you see this at the debate, was the one lady seated directly behind the moderators who was very expressive the entire time.
Yes.
And the only way that we really knew what side that she was on is every time Andrew Cuomo spoke, she made a little heart with her hands.
Yeah, she was really, really into what Andrew Cuomo was saying. I think there was a moment where everyone thought Andrew Cuomo was hot. So there is a reality. No. Yes, that was the thing that happened in the beginning.
Said that.
Before the sexual harassment suits came out, there was a moment where everyone's like, ooh, Cuomo's my daddy, whatever. That was a thing in New York. No. And there is a reality of some people who maybe didn't follow the news past the Cuomo is my daddy thing and just think that everyone's still into him sexually.
No, I don't think that's true. He looks like a Disney villain. He looks like a vampire.
That's what women want. Women want a Disney vampire. That's what Twilight was all about.
Back in a weird eye. It's not...
Here's more of the. So this is the interview between Emily Austin, the founder of Hot Girls for Cuomo, and Andrew Cuomo.
We're going to play.
Hey Andrew, what kind of a bagel? What's your bagel order? This is my impression of how I think this interview is going to go. Andrew, what's your bagel order? And then Andrew goes, "Listen, hot tits.
I like a bite of those cakes right now.
Cleavage."
This or that sports edition.
Oh God, that's what they go with on Hot for Cuomo.
Jets or Giants?
Well, first remember, I was the governor, so I support all New York teams. We're
gonna get the real answer.
Birth, Jets, because I was born in Queens.
Okay.
So it'd be the Jets.
Knicks or Nets?
The Knicks, but the Nets have.
But I have a lot of voters in Brooklyn that I'm trying to appeal to. I have Madison Square Garden locked down, but there is, Brooklyn.
Michael Porter, and that is really exciting, and welcome to New York.
Welcome to New York, Michael. Rangers or Islanders?
By birth, Island.
The charisma on these two is just palpable.
I like that the woman said, you know what, girls like sports and Andrew Cuomo.
Next up, they're just going to do a whole episode of Hot Girls for Cuomo on Vietnam footage. This week on Hot Girls for Cuomo, World War II. How did the Luftwaffe get taken down? All right, that was Hot Girls for Cuomo. Whoever from the Cuomo team has decided on how to approach this from a social media and marketing perspective is a moron, absolute moron. They hired that Zach Sage guy who is like that major Israel advocate. This is this is the actual problem with all of this. That is kind of funny, is that Cuomo hired all of these, and let me just say also, I'm not voting for him. I'm not voting for Zohran. I don't know if I'm voting for anybody at this point. Like, I may just write into things. Like, they all have their own. Sliwa's a wild renegade who would, who wants to keep Rikers open, which is a hell of a stance. Zohran, has my issues we'll talk about. And Cuomo, once again, also, a predator. Cuomo hired like a PR team to handle his like PR stuff. That PR team is the same PR team that was handling a lot of like the Israel like information war, which as someone that loves Israel, I don't like the government out there. Everyone knows this. Ask yourself this question. Has things gotten better or worse for the Jews since October 7th media has been funded? Way worse. It's been worse. If you look at the past 2 years, are Jews has the media that has been funded by these entities been net positive or net negative overall? And the answer is net negative. So it's no fucking wonder that Cuomo goes out there and without a hint of irony is like, we got to get a bunch of hot girls online for Cuomo. and then send me a list of their email addresses and where they live. So I just want to point out that the media campaign, we're talking, Zohran's clearly going to win this thing, and Cuomo has really no one to blame but himself. For one, shouldn't have been in the campaign to begin with. Two, he was for some reason, he just was not able to take down, in the primary. He did not have like the mental fortitude and didn't have the infrastructure, and was completely taken on by Zohran in a way that was hilarious. If you think about where he is running for office in, Cuomo, this should have been like a no doubter for Cuomo, but he loses the primary. He took on that same strategy to attack the mayoral election, and all that's done is kind of like plummet him.
Yeah, he already lost. I feel like everyone's like, why are you still here?
Yeah.
It should have been Eric Andrews. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Eric Adams this morning, by the way, before we got on, he endorsed Cuomo officially.
I saw that. They were talking about it at the game last night.
Yeah. They actually, after the debate last night, he went to the Knicks game. But yeah, just to put that together, Cuomo had this locked up. He fucked up. He then put himself as an independent into a race that he was not going to win, and all he's done is become more unlikable. He is so unlikable that he's made Sliwa look like a goddamn legend, which is crazy.
He looks like the Disney villain now, and Sliwa looks like some kind of like weird underdog, like Oliver Twist.
It's
hero
sad.
Here.
It's really sad. He's never looked older. That's the thing. He's like, stumbling over words.
Yep.
Sliwa has that Trump thing where the older that Sliwa gets, the tighter and like funnier and more personable he gets.
I love it.
The conversation that a lot of people are having now is that they haven't been exposed to Sliwa. Like, I'm from this area. I remember Sliwa for years. I remember him for the last election and stuff like that. He was never taken seriously. Sliwa now, for the first time ever, is being exposed to people who are realizing that, he's got crazy ideas, but this guy knows New York better than anyone knows New York. The first debate happened, and there was a question about NICA housing or 311. The question was about 311. Moderator goes, hey, have any of you guys ever called 311? And Zohran's like, yeah, I called them once to fix my heater. And then Cuomo's like, no, but I heard it was bad. So I called them, to see, how bad it was. And it was really bad. And then Sliwa was like, I'm on hold with them right now.
I got him on speed dial.
Are you out of your mind? I called them 4 times a day. It's a mess. Like, he knows. They were talking about NICA housing. They're like, NICA housing. What do you think about NICA housing? And Cuomo's like, it's in disrepair. We got to fix it. And then Zohran's like, we got to add all these houses. And then Sliwa's like, every day I patrol 4 to 5 of those NICA housings. No one knows what they're doing. We got to bring the schools into the housing. And you can just tell that he actually he has spoken to more New Yorkers than both of these guys combined. Understands the city more than anyone else understands this city. Is a lunatic.
Yeah.
Is a full-on lunatic. There was a question about shutting down Rikers. I didn't think that the concept of whether to shut down Rikers or not was a question. I thought everyone was just like, when do we shut this thing down? He's like, we got to add 5 more buildings. We got to double it, okay? We got to make Rikers 2 next door to it.